let's talk about the recent features for bridge operations. Um, we directly jump in, and I brought you like handpicked 5 of them. Um, I will talk a bit about of them, and there's some of them there are screenshots, and some of them we as well then see in the demo right after that. So I will explain what is the usage of them, and then we will go one by one through them. So first we do have so first is the left upper corner here for me is a date effective price overrides. Sounds very complicated, isn't? It is totally not. Basically it makes it easier for you to handle your price lists. See, because today you do have maybe different price lists, and then you do have a lot of roll prices on that, and you do have different roll prices then for certain scenarios. You may even using um, a custom pricing dimension because you do have some factors why there is a certain range of roll prices different from the usual one, or they're like custom pricing, things like that. So you can change those prices much more easily without like copying the entire price list. And so your overall system load just gets reduced with that. And we can just go on the price list um, and define the certain information there, when this starts and how much it is. Say, for example, for the summer from June to end of August, you want to raise your prices because you don't have so much projects there going on. So you can do that for certain roles, and you can set this up for with even like dates and as well, for example, for certain customers or so. This as well applies for markups. Say if you want to have this percentage based amount change. So for example, you want to change from 5 to 10% for certain time because of December, winter season, whatever. You can do that very easily. You will have that in the demo because you can enable that. You can as well enable that today. So it is right there in the parameter. I will show that to you, how you can find that. And we will then look through that. Um, then as well, we got back the project quote revision button. So usually, if you working with the quote, you want to revise the quote and may have different versions of the code. And this was not supported with project operations or with PSA before. And right there, we get this button back. It basically then as well, of course, adds the revision ID to the process and things like that. And therefore, this is back to usual. Um, then as well, advances and retainers. These are basically upfront payments for customer and clients. They can be created like a one-time advances or one-time advance, and but as well like on a regular basis. I think we have this in the demo as well if you have enough time, and we can check on that. Bulk confirm and create or bulk create of performer project-based invoices. Sounds complicated again. Basically, you can bulk create, first of all, invoices from project contracts, and as well, you can bulk confirm those invoices. Also something you can uh, edit or enable right there. Let's then go on with the vendors and subcontracting handling. That's maybe something of the most prominent feature that came up. So you can handle your subcontracting resources with your um, usual employees just in the system. So there's a special type on the book of a resource. You can set this up, and you can specially set this up in the projects as well, and make them part of your planning. So you no longer need to maybe send like a plan out to your subcontractor and need to organize everything. So it can be directly done in the system and everything handled in the system. Great. This is the first set of features. As mentioned, we will see some of them in the demo right away. And I brought you a second list of it. So I decided to split it a bit. Just we'll talk about a bit of the API. So as already mentioned, there is the schedule API, the PSS, which is basically controlling the creation and update for tables like project task dependencies, resource assignment, project team member, but as well checklists, sprints, things like that. Maybe as well things that are still coming to project operations. And this is because it is the biggest difference, it is always worth to mention. So you won't be able to perform usual like plugin create operations, or for example work with workflows or so to create a new project or create new project tasks. This as well has some effect on the templating. So therefore you do want to go via the scheduling API that can be triggered directly from the system. There's a special table for that. You can point out to that and send your changes to the API. The API validates everything and then sends it back to the Dataverse, and you can see that information back in the system. With that API, we as well get some. So I basically you have a screenshot here for that. So we as well with the demo because yeah, everything is pretty web related. As well, so contour updates we will handle in the demo as well very quickly. So you can do some updates on the assignments directly. So you can specify how many hours the person wants or should work during the week or on the months. External scheduling, this is in direct combination, which what we do have with the schedule API. So you can as well turn it off. So you can every time turn off the API for single projects. So they can then basically scheduled or planned from an external engine. So you can do it manually with plugins, for example, or as well you can use different third party for that. So this is possible, but be warned about that. There is no, again, no, it's like a one-way street, so you cannot go back. And as well, you need to validate as well things like is the end date after the start date, things like that. So there's a lot of downsides coming with that, but I can see definitely some use cases. But what, for example, comes in with that we as well got the import for project plans from project, so for Windows. So these heavy, big Windows client that as well works because of that. The schedule experience and the project budget management are last one here on my list. So schedule experience, you may have seen it before. So the schedule board did receive a new update. This is not the case. This is the right one. So the schedule board basically gets a new interface. It is way more faster and is currently now our PCF control, which is quite popular right now with development in general. So PCF controls a Power Apps components framework. So it uses parts from the integration of Microsoft. So you can reuse components there, and it builds in very well. So we use it a lot for our customization and for our development. Yeah, as mentioned, it is faster. It has a better usability, and it has basically a complete new. So it's not only an update; it's a complete different application right now. So they're just making it more flexible and more accessible. The basically layout is still the same. You do have the calendar here, you do have your resources, and you do have your open requirements you want to plan through, and you still can see like people who are then planned and overbooked and things like that. And last but not least, we do have project budget management. We will as well see today. You can as well enable that on the parameter side. and it is there to organize your budget and to track your budget, your costs.